Today, I want to talk to you about breaking the paradigm of fear. Perhaps you can enjoy the entertainment of my own story in doing this because maybe it's familiar. So, yesterday, we had the opportunity, my husband and I, to be with a group of beings who were holding this space of powerful creation, right? It was a space in which nothing can go wrong. Everything is awesome. Maybe you have experienced this sometime in your life. It goes like maybe the most familiar place would be when you were a kid and you were like, yes, this is it. I am out in nature. I'm getting it done. I'm on the playground. I am having the best time with my friends. This is the best, right? So we had this opportunity to be with this kind of energy that's just exploding with optimism. And what happened after we turned that off? That experience, we didn't turn it off entirely. Obviously, it was still running in us. We were full of our own optimism in the moment. But then we had a new experience, and that experience went like this. We went for a walk, and we began a game that I will call trigger ping pong. Because suddenly it was all of our fears, one after the other. We took turns, my husband and I. It was like my biggest fear came out. It was triggered by something he said, which was, it was not triggering the kind of response that came up in me. And then it was like, here's one other fear, that when you're having a nice video that you get to interrupt it 100 times, but we're gonna let that solve. We're gonna let that solve itself. So we were playing this game that I called trigger ping pong yesterday. It was like, and after a while we were like, this is so hilarious. What's going on here? I am like in the grip of fear, and then he's in the grip of fear, and each time we do our spiritual work, which is you breathe, you let it be, you let it move into the space that's open and wide, and it sort of dissolves itself. We hold space for each other. And I'm like, okay. After a while, I was like, your turn, next, your next biggest fear. And here's what the result of having this experience of being in this awesome creative space, and then having our fears just come out one after the other. Because doesn't this sound like here we are? Isn't this where society is at large? We're in this place where we're having these fears come out one right after the other. But let us see, where did this come from? And so I was taken into a journey into my own mind, into my own history of creating these fears, so that I could understand what's really going on here and how can I really break this pattern. Because yesterday, while it became hilarious, the fears started to become our biggest joke, because we knew we had created them to experience somehow. But why did we do that? Why did we make it such a mess in there? Why did we do that? And so this is where I was taken on the journey. And I'd like to offer this out to all of you who are clearing out your fear closets, maybe with the coronavirus is bringing it up, or whatever else is bringing it up for you. The Trump administration, who, does whatever it does, or, the stock markets, whatever it is that might be triggering your biggest panics. So here's a journey into what is at the crux of it all. How can you clear the closet? Why did this closet of fears enfold itself into your life? And how can you clear it? So here we go. So first, let us remember that space. Probably you can remember a time, even if it was in your childhood or sometime when you were just having a great dance out on a dance floor, or you were just in the optimism of life. Spend a moment, find a memory like that. If you don't have it yet, pause it till you have it. And then here we go. Let us now say, is there anything that we cannot create with this energy? Is there anything that can get in our way when we decide that this is who we are? We can do anything. Put your energy that you've put from this mindset into your big fear. So, can it solve the problem? Now, if this causes some skepticism, let me take you back into a time when you had this energy very often, or many of us did. This is a time when we were in our childhood and we knew that we could create a good time like that when we wanted to. And this is a download I got from my highest self, was that the greatest discouragements that humanity holds come from the childhood experience of being in that divine flame of creation, that hopefulness, the sense of anything's possible, and not being able to create contagion with that, with our parents, with our more sensible adults around us. And here's how this can play out then, from a little person's mind perspective. And maybe this is familiar for you. When you really get discouraged, like for example, you had the opportunity to have something really good happen, and somebody else seemed to spoil it for you. Something else in your environment, like somebody just was too slow, and then you had to be stuck in this red light for the next 5 minutes, and then you missed your opportunity to grab the tickets that you wanted to have for a show or something. I mean, just to say it's a little thing, maybe, right? But somebody else did this, and you're like, yeah, right? And you go for it. So let's bring ourselves into this little creator mind, this very powerful creator that's in us now, working our fear structures into this fabric of life we have now. Stay with me. This little being may have said when it got this discouragement from its parents or whatever, when it was full of life, and that life didn't transfer into the optimism that little person wanted. So that little person then said to the parents, parent, whoever. Ah, and it started creating the pity party, right? Oh, I didn't get this, I didn't get that. And then the parents, their attention came in. The kids could feel their love. Ooh, here comes the love I want. That's what I wanted all along, is I wanted my parents, my whoever it was I was trying to connect with, to show me love. Now, how does this really break the paradigm of fear? How can we do this? By recognizing that when we go into the pity party, when we go into the victimization of what it is that isn't working out, that we want to create, it's not working out, that we're working that. We're milking that. We're milking the system for love. But if we really ask ourselves, what do we really want as an adult? And we say, what we really want as an adult is to create, excuse my French, what we fucking want. And that doesn't need to be a selfish thing. It may be something like, I want to pay the bills. I want to have a business that thrives and feeds people's joy like myself. This is my wish to create. These are not selfish things, but we need to recognize that what we really want needs that creative space that says nothing gets in my way. I know who I am. I know I can create because I say so with this energy. Can you feel that? Can you feel that it's the little kid in us that's trying to manipulate something, love out of the system? But that's not what we want anymore. What we want as adults is to get what we want to create, which means we need to stay in that space of creative optimism. We need to stay in the feeling of, I know who I am. And when I am open to my universe responds to me. Right? Now, those of you who haven't had the experience of connecting with that larger, greater self universe that you can connect to within you, maybe this will take a little bit of experimentation. But for those of you who know what I'm talking about, the light workers of the world, who know what I'm talking about, who know when you turn that fire up, when you turn up the heat of optimism, when you say, this is the way it is, the ways come to you. It isn't one way that gets it done. It's this way, it's that way, I could do it this way. Suddenly the possibilities start coming in. You start to have the feeling like, I can do this because my universe supports me. I can do this because the ideas are there. I can do this because I have the flow. I have the creative flow. The intelligence is flowing through me. Now, if you haven't heard this about the coronavirus, that it doesn't respond well to heat, maybe you can understand how even the coronavirus is reflecting for us how we cool down when we are in fear, and we heat up when we are excited about who we are in life and what we can do, the possibilities we can create for love, for joy, for the intensity of the experience that we want to have from time to time, which says, yes, this is creating what I want in the world. So my advice to you, if you are clearing your fear closet, have your guidance your universe help you to right your mind if it isn't something that you can't do with a rigorous set of exercises, a rigorous set of heating things up from within, your internal optimism, putting the fire of life through surrender, if you want, to that infinite source of light that sorts all of the fears, dissolves all of the fears into that neutral place of, I'm here now. However it works for you, however you can feel into cleaning out your closet, know that what does it ultimately is an honest look at what you want really in the moment and what really creates it. So I ask you, if you are in the midst of clearing out your fear closet and creating your dream, ask yourself those questions. Find your answers. I found mine. Blessings. Live.